Hey, well, Muggin World Entertainment, and you can see it here that the question going around is what happens with DC, because it's saying here, filmmakers don't want to work with DC, and after Supergirl, it's getting worse. So, they are basically saying that directors are coming in, looking at the whole slate, seeing what kind of control James Gunn has, and are going, yeah, no. And it's basically, they're saying no because you have to work under James Gunn. James Gunn is pretty much not giving you control, which is evident from Supergirl. And yeah, this is what's hilarious, is when he came out and said he can't wait to give creatives their voice, their own stamp on all of these things, and yet clearly that's not happening. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with Clayface. Did he manage to get his grubby hands over that movie? When you look at the trailer, you would say no, but who knows at this stage? So, the big question then, especially with Supergirl failing, I think, has to be, what happens next? Like, if you can't get directors to come on board to work for you, which is quite telling with the fact that James Gunn directed Superman. For all intents and purposes, he directed Supergirl. He, of course, wrote and directed Creature Commandos. He wrote and directed Peacemaker Season 2. And the next major movie, not Clayface, but the major one, is his movie that he wrote and directed. Which means, out of all of the projects we've gotten up to this point, we're only getting 3 things that James Gunn didn't actually have, or at least 2.5, because again, Supergirl, it ends up being that he did pretty much make that movie. But you had Craig Gillespie, you have, I can't remember who the director is for Clayface. I know, wasn't it Mike Flanagan? He wrote it, he was meant to direct it, but walked away. I can't remember now who directed Clayface. And we have whoever worked with it's Damon Lindelof, isn't it? With Lanterns. Is it though? We'll find out how much control Gunn had on that as well, I suppose. But overall, everything is James Gunn. So, when you're looking at, well, directors are refusing to work, and it's saying in this article they're pretty much refusing to work because he doesn't want to give up control. So it's kind of, you see there, first the timestamp, this isn't a post-flop pylon, so it's not like they're saying we're not working with him because this movie flopped. They're saying back in October, their insiders said that DC films were stalling because filmmakers were reportedly refusing basically to work under Gunn's control, and that they were walking away. So, the big question now is for Paramount, what do they do moving forward? Do you keep James Gunn and continue? Do you get rid of him? If you get rid of him and the writing's on the wall that they're going to get rid of him, like Superman underperformed. Even just going off their own numbers, which were BS, it underperformed. It didn't break even. Supergirl is an unmitigated disaster. Creature Commandos, nobody watched. Nobody even remembers that that's a thing. Nobody ever brings it up. Peacemaker Season 2 didn't just confuse people, but it was also unwatched and hated. Because people were looking at it going, well, hang on. How can you bring people from the DCEU over to the DCU? Then you were told the Season 1 of Peacemaker wasn't canon, but then you're told it is canon, but then you're told, well, actually, parts of it are canon. So people were just confused, and then, of course, it was just regarded as an absolute pile of trash. Lanterns is coming out. Lanterns already has backlash to it. Backlash started when they announced it as Lanterns, and people went, why isn't it called Green Lanterns? And then, of course, we saw that clip from Damon Lindelof where he's like, oh, we dropped the word green because it's stupid. There was backlash to that. And then, of course, they dropped the trailer. And everybody went, wow, There's a hell of a lot of brown in this trailer. Where's the color green? Where's the powers? Why are two people using the same ring when the ring chooses its bearer? All of this stuff. And it's just like, yeah, it may be a decent show, except of course they're trying to say, well, it's going to be True Detective. It's like, why can't it be the Green Lanterns? Why does it have to be True Detective? Then of course we had the announcement that Clayface was going to be Elseworld, but then James Gunn ran in and went, actually, I want that in our universe, and now it is in the DCU, so keep that in mind. You're going to watch this body horror, R-rated, super violent movie that is in the same universe as his goofy ass Superman and Supergirl. Yeah, that's really weird. And James Gunn has also confirmed that this is the Clayface that appeared in Creature Commandos, which was killed in Creature Commandos. So you're meeting a character who's already dead. Yeah. And that's also gonna confuse people when they're told, oh, by the way, canonically this movie takes place before Superman. So this is technically the first entry into the DCU. It's just like... So, if they get rid of him, the question is, what do they do next? In terms of, do you reboot the universe again? Because you're going to confuse people. Do you keep the actors and reboot it? Which will confuse people. Do you bring Henry Cavill back? Which may confuse people. Do you continue with Gunn's universe but without him? It's such a mess at this stage, and I think one of the issues they're gonna quite frankly run into is if they were to get rid of him, then just reboot the whole universe but keep the actors. They keep David Cornsweet as Superman. You have that issue, as I said, where the normie audience is going to be going, well, where's Crypto gone, or where's this gone, or where's that gone? Is this like the third movie with this guy? Like, is this Superman 3? Like, what way is this going? If you have to try and explain to them, no, all that universe is scrapped. This is brand new. We just kept the actor on board. That's when you kind of go, why then? Because you would have to look at it from the point of view of, well, the movies with these people in it didn't work, so why keep them on board? Well, it didn't work because the writing was garbage. It's not the actors' fault that it didn't work. Millie Alcock, look, she's saying stupid shit in interviews, but ultimately the movie is a terrible movie. It's not her interviews that have caused this box office to have a 74% week 1 to week 2 drop. No, it's because people have actually seen the movie and went, Jesus, this is terrible. That is why the movie's failing. Cornsweet isn't the reason Superman underperformed. It's James Gunn's writing. And one of the worst things James Gunn could have done was release that behind the scenes clip of Cornsweet arguing with him about, I think Superman would react this way. And James Gunn trying to tell him, no, you would tell Lex Luthor that he hurt your feelings. It's like, why would Superman have hurt feelings? All the way, the actors aren't the problem. The stories around them are. But if you kept the actors and rebooted the universe again, the stigma of the failures would stick with the actors. So they would look at it and go, yeah, it's just the same people, so we're going to get the same thing. It's a true mess at this stage. It really is. I think one of the main things you have to do is just scrap the idea of a universe. You can do a Supergirl movie, you can do your Superman movie and your Batman movies and stuff, but don't connect them. Well, maybe you can connect the Supergirl to Superman, whatever. But you need to get rid of the universe stuff. People are sick to death of the universe interconnected bullshit, because it becomes the case of, Well, to watch this thing, I have to watch that thing. To watch that thing, I have to watch them two things. To watch them two things, I have to watch them 5 things over. And it's just like, oh god, that people can't keep up, and nobody wants to do homework to try and watch all of this stuff. And it's just like, wow, what is going on? Why do we have to keep doing this? Like, is Clayface going to set up somehow Batman? Probably not. We've heard that he's not mentioned or seen in the movie at all, but ultimately, you know, it is in Gotham, so who knows? It's just like, where is this universe going, other than straight into the toilet because it's failed? But what direction are they going in? The ship is rudderless at this stage. It truly is. James Gunn clearly has no control. He cannot get out of his own way. He is not letting people come on board. Like, at this stage, you look at back when he announced this Gods and Monsters slate, and half of it is scrapped. Supergirl and Superman, Creature Commandos, and Lanterns are the only thing from that entire list that we've actually gotten. That's all. There's still no Batman. Clayface was never on that list. Like, Peacemaker Season 2 was never on that list. Waller was, and a couple of other things that were carryovers from the DCEU, and it was like, what is going on? So, the big question, as I said, is what happens next? Especially with Supergirl failing this badly, the writing's on the wall that Man of Tomorrow isn't going to perform. Clayface is their best hope for making money, but it's because they spent next to nothing on the movie, supposedly anyway. But even that may struggle, especially in the fact that it's R-rated. Yeah, you'll get the body horror people run to it, but the overall DCU audience, the kids who the likes of Crypto has been shoveled down your throat for, are all of a sudden being told, you can't watch this movie. So out of everything we've gotten so far from the DCU, you have 2 PG-13 things. Creature Commandos was R-rated, Peacemaker Season 2 was R-rated, Lanterns is R-rated, and Clayface will be R-rated. So, until Man of Tomorrow, Supergirl and Superman were your only PG-13 movies. It's kind of all over the place, but what do you guys think? What do you think will happen? Do they keep Gunn? Do they get rid of him? If they keep him, do they continue with this vision? Or do they force him to change it and fix it? If they get rid of him, do they continue this vision but try and fix it? Or do they scrap it and restart again? Let me know what you think and what you would prefer to see. And with that, I shall leave it there for this one. So do like and share and subscribe and hit that hype button and check out the memberships and all that good stuff. Cheers, I'll catch you in the next one.